Hi, it's Michelle from Movement Lesson, and I'm being asked to suggest a way of increasing diaphragm changes in chest cavity after surgery. So there's many ways of approaching it, so I'll probably have to do quite a few, but we're gonna give it a start. Now, most people want to improve the diaphragm think that X marks the spot. We're gonna try something a little bit different. That's not necessarily the case. Now, as always, slow, no pain. Really, with me, think about your rotation. But I want you to concentrate more on your pubic bone, or what's considered the sexes, as far as where your movement comes from. You can get on the floor or on the table, wherever you're comfortable. This can be done literally anywhere. It's not about that. It's just about learning how to move more efficiently. So by going in, and now all I'm thinking of is, I guess best describe it as if there's a string coming out my belly button and a string coming out my tailbone at the same time. But my concentration again is through midline, because that's what I'm doing is more of a baby move. So it's not, when I say it's in middle point of your groin, it's really not about that. It's more about when you were an infant, where your footing is. But what happens, or when you're doing that, you're actually allowing more organization in the lower abdomen, so the upper abdomen can find its way and do things a bit better. So I'm just doing this, I don't know, we're not counters, we're just doing it just to feel the efficiency. And then just take a rest for a second. And now I'm going to feel almost like if my hand was here, and you can do that the same, like I'm pushing my hand away. So I'm just putting the back of my hand on my lower sacrum, and I'm just pushing my hand away in a sense. But I'm going to take my hand away and do it without. So it's not really that I'm tilting the hips back. I'm pushing the hand away. This is a different organization. If those of you have issues with even knowing where your tush is, let's say because you didn't crawl as a child or for whatever reason, put a deflated ball back there. So like a ball with not as much air in. The reason I always say a little bit deflated is so it's not as springy. And then rest for a second, and then go back to the first move. But this time when you do it now, after you felt it a couple of times, I actually want you to feel as if, not so much push your hand away per se, but as if you could punch through. So you think of your stomach muscle going down into and punching through, so you're rolling your pelvis. I shouldn't say pelvis, because again, pelvis is more here. I'm looking at the pubic bone itself. I wish I had Frank here, but I'm in Minnesota at the moment. So if the bone was here, and you could actually come behind the pubic bone here with a punch. And if that's hard to feel, you can cough too. But cough, you know, you're going to think of maybe more your lower abdomen. I'm really looking forward to bringing that pelvis down. Pelvis, I keep saying that, pubic bone. And then let that go. And now what I want you to do is, initiating from your foot, is you're going to slowly roll that foot down And notice my knees are still together. I'm just looking to slide and rotate, so you want the top of the foot to go towards the table, heel coming up. And what you might start noticed again too is your floater ribs. For some might feel like they're being pulled on, but what I'm looking for more is that expansion. Now this is an awkward twist, but what I'm getting at is really like a baby rolling over. But when they roll over, you'll see the legs go long. To see how I'm tightly twisting to bring that pubic bone to bring me up or bring it to the floor. So I'm just, and this is a nice light movement. It's nothing that's forced. And then rest for a second. And now think of again that punch inside the pubic bone, but as you're rolling down that foot. So a bit more of a curve. And now this time when you include that, you're probably not going to be able to twist your foot as much. So don't feel like you're twisting the foot and doing that at the same time. I'm looking to synchronize the movements, not to cause any kind of stress. And leave that alone, take a rest. And now a little bit different, I'm looking to pretend as if your belly button can go onto the table. Now notice I'm not even close to it. Again, like it's going towards the table. For me to put my belly button on the table, I have to come all the way here. I'm just looking again to initiate these movements. But if I said do that, rotate the foot, and it becomes a bit too complex. I'm just breaking down the movements. Most people probably are not used to this much belly movement bringing you down to a table. And especially too if you have tighter abdomen muscles and you're used to that kind of movement, you might literally just have to practice pressing that belly out before you can even press the belly out and go into a twist. And now I want you to think of, again, just rotating that foot and coming down. Heel up, foot going down. And now think of not so much rolling the belly button to the table because you'll think a bit too much left-right, but that action of elongating the ribs, belly's coming down towards the table, and leave that alone. Now my next one is thinking of the lower leg. All I want you to do now, and if it's easier, feel free to separate the knees a little bit so they're laying side to side on the table. You're leaving the top leg alone, and you're just going long with the leg underneath and bringing that back up so it's knee behind knee. And after you've done that for a bit, and by all means, if I'm rushing, if you want to repeat a step, if you want to break this up into 15-minute increments, this is about just learning how your system moves. It's not learning how to do something right. So now I want you to think of that lower foot, and we're going to do the same thing where we're rotating the foot, where the top of the foot goes down into the table and the heel comes up. The rest of the body is just going for a ride. When you're done, put knee above knee, and now we're going to sort of starting to coordinate everything. Very nice and slowly. If you need a reminder, we'll just do the top foot, where the top of the foot is coming down to the table, the heel comes up. And now we're going to add in a little bit of belly work. Now when I come back, I'm not sucking in my abs, I'm just belly to foot. And now the bottom leg is also going to go long. For a fun thought, you can think of just bouncing on a trampoline, reverse or horizontal. Now, when you're done with all of this, doesn't have to be today, doesn't even have to be this week. You'll want to reverse this out and do it on the other side. We're not totally on the bellies just yet, but what you should start to feel again is way more space throughout the abdomen, through the lower sternum, below solar plexus, stomach, and the floater ribs, where they're starting to almost like they're fanning out to go along with the legs. You'll see ballerinas even do this kind of move. Babies rolling over do this move. This will really improve your golf game, believe it or not. It's a really nice movement. It could be done fun and quickly. Nice little quick movements. Again, like I said, like it's jumping, or where it's sort of really delayed, like you're just in molasses, and just nice and slow, and just to feel. Those of you who, quote, have tight glutes, hamstrings, all of that, this is a really great move. What it's a really nice move about, to notice the changes in foot function. Your feet actually should be like little baby's feet, and this is a nice way of again, working on a pre-crawl without crawling. And again, I'll be working on this series now for a bit to help out one of my clients. If you want to learn more from Movement Lesson, please subscribe. I have instructional videos if you need to help the people in your community, with your children and yourself. To date, I have over 1,200 videos online. Some are through a subscription site, and some are available to you, just like this one is now on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing, and I will talk to you later. Thanks.